average load profit. So your load profits will be, if anybody can tell you this, they'll be lying to you. And let me tell you why. No two people are going to have the same exact expenses. You get what I'm saying? So the only thing, so let me tell you, your LLC, your authority, but your insurance payment, that's going to be completely up to you. So what I've seen on average is the minimum I've seen people go through the masterclass, you should be able to at least profit $100. And this is without you being the driver of the truck. So listen to me, because I've been debating this guy all day today, back and forth. But I'm going to get back into that in a second. But so minimally, let's say you are not driving the truck. You got a 9 to 5, you got another business, you're doing something, you just want to make money passively. You should at least be able to make $100 a night per truck. So if you got one truck, $100. Like I always tell people, that ain't going to change nobody's life. But the money in trucking, and this is why I'll tell you, going back and forth with this guy, he's like, I own a CDL, I got a truck, and I do big rig, big haul, heavy loads or whatever, but you're still driving the truck. And he's saying he's making a lot of money, and I get it, but I make my money passively. $200 a night, 5 trucks, that's $1,000 a night I make. $1,000, my truck run 30 days in a night. In a month. That's $30,000 I'm netting. If you're in a truck and you making it, that's great. However, I make this money passively from home. I don't have to go nowhere. So to get back to your question, the average person getting into the game right now, you should at least be able to profit at least $100 per truck. I've seen some people do 150. I've seen people even get 200. Depends on what area you in. If you know how to book loads. So if you know how to book loads, we got somebody in Cali right now killing it. Got somebody in Texas killing it. Got somebody in Chicago area killing it. So they profiting over, and this is even before the peak season started. They was profiting. I ain't gonna give up all the super hot spots, but they was profiting more than $200 a night with a truck. But they only had 2 or 3 trucks. But that's still good money. Think about that. So if you only making $100 a night after all your expenses, not gross, net. Let's say you gross $650, but your bills came out to whatever, and you only made $100. $100, I always tell people this in my masterclass. $100 shouldn't change nobody on this live life if you made $100 a night. Although that's good money, don't get me wrong, because that's still $3,000 a month. That's some people mortgage, even on that small scale. But let's just say you have 5 trucks. If you get one truck, what is stopping you from getting another truck? And this is another thing a lot of people don't understand. Once you set up your authority, you set up your LLC, you set up your business, you can get as many trucks as you want under your authority. All you got to do is go get another truck, put another insurance down payment. The more trucks you get, the lower it starts coming down. So your second truck, you get one truck, you get a second truck, right? Instead of blowing your profits, this is why I always tell people, keep your job. A lot of people, this is the biggest mistake I see a lot of people do. When they start a business, they look for the business to immediately start paying for their lifestyle and trying to live off the business. Don't quit your job right off the beginning. Keep that job. Keep the job. And instead of trying to live off the money that you make in the first couple months of trucking, guess what? Take that money and put it into another truck. Put that money down for insurance. Get your second truck. That's what I did. It took me 3 weeks. I didn't touch my money. Guess what I did? Another 3 weeks. Instead of using that money to live off, because I had my job to live off, I got a third truck. And that's how I kept scaling up to 4 trucks, 5 trucks, 6 trucks, 7 trucks, 8 trucks. Go back and watch my story. I started off with 1 truck, making $2,000 a week. I wasn't even booking 7 loads a week because I didn't know how to book my loads at that time. I documented my process. 2,000. 3 weeks, I got my second truck. I started making $4,000 a week. 3 weeks later, go look. Started making $6,000 a week. A couple months later, kept scaling up. I was making $8,000, $12,000, $14,000, $15,000 a week. I literally documented my process up to $1 million. So with that being said, don't quit your job. Keep getting trucks, and that's where the money's at. If you think in one truck ain't gonna really change nobody's life. So I always tell people the money in trucking, the money in business is in scaling. Like FedEx don't have 1 truck. UPS don't have 1 truck. None of these places have 1 truck. So why is it that somebody, I don't know what it is, but people think you're going to get in 1 truck and you're just going to make $1 million with 1 truck. It ain't going to work like that. It ain't. You need multiple trucks to be able to make a lot of money. And what I call a lot of money, I call a lot of money $30,000 a month. There's nothing I can't buy making $30,000 a month. I got the cars I want. I can live where I want. I can travel where I want. I do what I want. I go to sleep when I want. I vacation when I want. That's the life for me. So a lot of people ask me, won't you get more trucks? Well, more trucks mean more headache. I did 16 years in corporate America. I don't want to do nothing that look like work. I am in retire mode right now. I love being able to get up, do what I want to go. Trying to figure, man, do I want to go somewhere for Christmas? Do I don't want to go anywhere for Christmas? Do I want to go somewhere for New Year's? And that's how I live my life. If I can't afford it with 30 bands from trucking, then guess what? That's just one of my business. Guess what? Making that amount of money on a monthly basis and stacking it, guess what it allowed me to do? It allowed me to be able to drop a couple $100,000 into a tequila company. So now I got a tequila company that's coming. You see what I'm saying? So I use that money to jump into this. Once that jump off and that start making money, guess what? I'm going to use that money to start another business. So that's just the way how it all works, if that makes sense. So I know that's a long ass question, long ass answer to your question, but you should be able to make 100 to over 200 and something bucks per truck. Okay. So I hope that made some sense. So don't quit your job. Don't try to starve your business. And that's where I see so many people go out of business. Oh, it's not paying. Cause as they say, you gotta crawl before you walk. Keep your job, save the money, stack it. When I walked away from my job, my mother's dead, my father's dead, I got kids, and kids are expensive. I just got my son just graduated from college, but kids are super expensive. So to be able to do that, I used to always tell this, like I had a podcast I was on maybe 2 years ago, and I would told a guy, a lot of people, they can just jump out on faith. Meaning that my mom died when I was 18, and I've pretty much been on my own since I've been 18. I had to survive, went through divorce, lost everything. 2019 was homeless, literally homeless. Not the fake homeless that people saying like, oh, I was homeless, this, and that. I was no BS. I was homeless, maxed out all my credit cards. My divorce cost me like 50 bands to go through divorce. So me and my ex-wife best friends now. Cool. Now, with that being said, I could not afford to just jump and leave my job with kids. With that being said, I had too much responsibility. I always tell people, when you see people in a clown walking across in the circus, or the tightrope person, when they walk in, they can do tricks if there's a net down there. I ain't have no net. My mom dead, daddy dead, birth mom died when I was a baby, my mama that raised me died when I was 18. So guess what? I've been on my own ever since, trying to figure out life. So I have kids, so I couldn't just say, hey, you know what? Let me take a leap of faith. Even when I was flipping houses, making $176,000 first house, $160 the second house, $150. So I still, that money it was good. Don't get me wrong, that real estate money. However, it didn't come quick enough, like logistics, to allow me to quit. Bought the house January 3rd for $80,000, put $85,000 into it, sold it July 16th. Go Google it. 778 Cascade Place, Atlanta, Georgia, Southwest, 30310. Made $176,000 off the house. Bought the house right next door, 774 Cascade. Made $160,000. So anyway, that money would come, but it took me 7 months to make that money, right? I don't know when my next check is going to come from real estate. So I was too afraid to quit my job. So it wasn't mailbox money. When I got into trucking, that money come from Amazon every single Friday in my account, like clockwork. That's mailbox money. That's the kind of money I could depend on, because guess what? That was like my work check, getting paid every single week. So guess what I did? At first I said, you know what? I'm going to save up 6 months of money. I literally saved up a year's worth of money from doing trucking, that if anything hit the fan, I could survive a whole year without working before I quit my 9 to 5. So y'all don't even know it. When I first started my trucking business, I was still working a 9 to 5. I mean, I've been saying it for years now, but when I was first doing it, y'all go back to my page, nobody knew I was working a 9 to 5. I was box truck shorty at work. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, you gotta be smart when you get into this business, or smart when you get into any business. Never just quit your job and you ain't got money.